This movie's fake as shit.
Uh, yeah. This franchise is weird. I feel like if it was a little better, it would kind of have a similar reputation to Shrek as being like kind of dumb, kind of goofy. Because like people meme on Cars a fair amount, but man, this is a really stupid way to for me to first thing for me to say about this, huh?
I,
What
I,
is there to say about Cars?
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. I think it is just kind of a meme movie. It's not on the same level as, like you said, Shrek. And like, B movie is a stupid freaking movie.
Yeah,
It's
this
stupider
is
than
this is
it's
closer to a
stupider than
B movie.
Cars. Cars, like, has the structure of a good movie. It's
Yeah,
just
it's like an
dumb.
A- movie
Like, yeah.
or B plus. um,
So I talked about this last time. I don't know if I've ever actually seen this movie all the way through. Um, I just I mentioned before how there was just kind of a period where I didn't see some of the Pixar movies when they came out, and I, you know, saw them in fragmented pieces after the fact. This
mhm.
one was the one I was interested in the least, and so I just, I've been exposed to it just tangentially. I don't know how to phrase it, but
Yeah.
so the the thing is, there's like a billion side characters in this movie, and I don't know like any of them. I know that, like,
Yeah.
obviously Lightning and Mater, and then
Yeah.
I don't even
I
remember the
mean, I'm
names
looking
of
at the
most of the
poster
other
here, and
ones.
I see a girl car.
Yeah, I know the girl car
Yes.
is named Sally. Let me see what I can remember, because I'm not even looking at the image. There's there's like, the old wise car that puts Lightning in his place. I don't remember his name. I know there is that Doc Hudson? Is that
I don't
is
know.
that even a character in this movie? I don't
I
remember.
don't fucking know shit about this one. I've
Um,
seen it and I barely remember it. I was originally gonna say that I saw it with my foster brothers in like 2012 or 2013, but I don't think that's correct. I think I saw other movies with them, including some that were reruns. Because I don't know if do theaters over there do that, like cinemas. Do they just kind of bring a movie back like 2 years later for like one screening,
maybe
if it's a slow weekend.
there were
It's like
like I grew up near a theater that would it would show movies that had like left the main theaters, and it was like at a discount. But
yeah.
other than that, I'm not really sure.
I
But
think I actually watched it with like my younger neighbors one time. I Now that I think about it more. I think it was a couple years after it came out, like '08 or '09. I think there was just a weekend where they were just showing it in the theater again, even though it was a few years old and probably at a discount. Uh Either way, it was long enough ago that I basically don't remember it, and all of my memory of it is just from hearing other people talk about it.
yeah.
Um
So
like
going back to characters, I feel like there's at least two mentor characters, and I don't remember if that's actually the case. And if there are two of them, I don't know which is which. Um, there's the really fast like pit crew guy. There's the big truck who is John Ratzenberger, who I think has like three lines in the whole movie. Then there's the annoying Kachiga rival, who
Kajiga!
I think is in this movie. You said he was in three, right? Like,
Well, I mean, like I said, I don't really remember, but I could have sworn I remembered hearing about the Kachega guy being from three. Like that isn't he like? Well, hang on, because maybe there's a rival in this movie, but isn't the point of three that like Lightning has like a new younger rival who's trying to like replace him in the mainstream as being like the new hot shit, and that's the guy that says Kachega because he's like,
no,
it's like Let's Go Who Gods again, but with the catchphrase.
I'm pretty sure he's in the first one, because the thing with the third movie is it's just
I'm probably
like
just mixing two things together then.
the third one is it's just like, technology is advancing and cars are getting better, which, you know, how does that work when they're living beings? But whatever.
I mean,
And
people
like,
well, we can talk about that more when we get to Cause 3, but that is actually like accurate, like in terms of like athletic, if you consider it as an athletic thing, like athletes are getting better, and it's
Yeah,
because
it
of
is.
advances in like understanding of training, understanding of physical fitness, and how best to, like training techniques and stuff like that. Um,
Okay, now I'm remembering. There's so sorry, I'm just ignoring that completely because I remember. So there's, like I said, there's the one car from Radiator Springs that like kind of puts him in his place, and then there's the other one who's like his other rival, who's like going to retire soon, and so there's like the whole ending scene with him finishing his last race. I remember that. I think I was getting them confused. I don't know either of their names. Um,
hmm.
so this is my memory of this movie, and whenever I've heard people talk about this one, it's always on the defensive, where it's just like, oh man, people always shit on this movie, but it's actually pretty good. It has a decent message. It's like, who cares about the fucking message? I know that you hate that, but or at least thought it was funny when Doug Walker always brought it up.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's like, with this one, it's just I think the message is basically just don't be a prick. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah,
he's
from what I remember,
very
he
full of
like
himself.
didn't he get like stranded due to like breaking down in some bumfuck podunk town and becomes humbled by the
Well, I
local
think he
residents? Isn't that basically the plot of the movie?
I mean, I think he gets sent there on like, what the fuck is the term for it? Like community service. He like does something.
Oh,
I don't remember what it is. And then,
okay.
but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, they get there and it's like, check out this wacky cast of characters, and it's Mater and then a bunch of people who don't matter, and they go cow tipping. Yeah,
I
that's the
see.
movie.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to see. I'm not expecting much out of this one, so if it does, exceed my expectations, all the better. And if it doesn't, and at least I won't be disappointed.
Yeah, from what I remember, the ending is at least nice. But
Okay.
um, I guess we're good. We're just gonna start.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Hey, Cruz, you disappeared.
Papa, papa,
So anyway,
ka-chow.
oh no, you said a
Dude,
thing.
Lightning McQueen is so hot. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what it is about this movie that inspires sarcasm into me. Here's the thing: is I actually really like that. That was a fun movie.
I liked it more than I thought I would.
Yeah. It was really good. But at the same time,
It was
something
very
about
stupid.
sometimes I would step back from myself and like look at the screen and I'd be like, "This is a fucking talking car."
Yeah, that's the thing. Let me. I need to check something.
It's like I don't know why this is different from like the sentient toys and the fish with human faces and stuff like that. Like something about the cause is just funny whenever you kind of like think about it for a second.
Yeah. Okay, so I knew I had heard this before. There's a movie called Doc Hollywood that this is very similar to.
Okay. Hmm.
Don't know if it was intended, but
I see.
it's in the same way that Bug's Life was basically just Three Amigos, except there I feel like it was even more obvious. There were like lines. Well, I can't say that for certain because I've not seen Doc Hollywood, but there's like lines lifted straight from Three Amigos. But
I see.
um,
Um.
I think I can
Yeah.
comfortably say now I have definitely not seen this movie before. I've seen the ending of this movie before. I've seen like little bits and pieces, but there were many scenes in this that I had never seen.
There were many scenes in this that felt completely new and like I hadn't seen them before, but as I think I've established recently, like my memory is just terrible. I can't fucking remember anything from before like 8 years ago. Um, so yeah, but yeah, no, I will say, most of it was just very solid and nothing like super special.
Yeah,
So I kind of understand why this one fell into the back catalog. I guess you could say like it's a pretty great kids movie, but that had come from Pixar, which were known for like stellar things that were these huge successes and everyone loved. So this is going to seem less good by comparison, but from any other studio, sans context, this would be like, yeah, this is a great movie for I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
pretty
kid
much.
movie,
It's. I mean, it really just comes down to like it's a decent enough story. It's just the world makes no sense, and I think
yeah.
that's almost kind of the point. But
Yeah, yeah, you
it's
kind of have to
also
buy
like
into it.
it's really easy to just write off this whole like the movie and then the entire series as basically just a cash grab because it made a shit ton of merchandise.
Well, I mean, any movie is trying to be successful and then spawn merchandise if it's for kids. Like
Right.
I would say the sequels are probably more guilty of that. This is just they're just trying to make a movie. You have to have the solid start, and then they can't rely on Lightning McQueen brand recognition for the first movie. They have to make a first one. The second and third, yeah, they can definitely just be like, look, another Cars movie. You like Cars, right? Um,
Yeah.
but
Um, I before I forget to mention it, I will say I've seen funny original jokes from people on like GameFAQs and stuff that Lightning McQueen could get into Smash because the game came out before the
the
movie.
game came out first. Yeah.
Yeah. Which obviously is stupid, but I know Jordan had the game on DS and I played
I
it
think
with him a couple times. It sure was a racing game.
I think one of my foster brothers had Cars 2 on DS. um, I don't think I ever
Was
tried
the
it.
original DS still going at that point? Jeez.
Yeah, Cars 2 was 2011, and 3DS came out 2011. But there was still 3DS. Sorry, there were still original DS games coming out through 2011 and
Right.
even into 2012 with like Pokemon Black and White.
The other thing I want to say before I forget is it just me or does this movie have an insanely long runtime? Like
I
at
wouldn't
least
say
at least
insanely long, but
compared to
looking at it
like
now, yeah,
compared
it's
to
almost
other Pixar movies or just animated movies in general, like I think it took its own advice and it's like, oh yeah, you gotta slow down and enjoy the small stuff. And it's like, okay, so
yeah.
basically what I was noticing just constantly throughout the movie, there were a lot of scenes that just kind of dragged or
A
didn't
little.
really seem to have a point.
But I honestly don't think like it.
I'm not
For
saying
some
that's
of these other
necessarily
videos,
a bad thing. It was just I
I was
noticed
gonna say
it.
I've been very critical of pacing in a lot of the other movies we've watched. I think this movie had perfect pacing, personally.
Huh. I maybe this is just because I had apparently never seen the movie from start to finish before, but I was surprised at how long the beginning was. I thought that it was basically just like, here's this big race, so here's this hotshot driver. Oh no, go! There's
You
gonna
mean
be
the
a
part all the
rematch,
way up to when he
and
ends up
like,
in the impound, or
um, I mean, even just the stuff at the racetrack, like all
oh
of the like the announcer stuff and just like showing all the fans and the sponsors and the like there was like a cutaway that was like this big backstory to like the king and Chick Hicks and all that shit and
I think it was
it,
necessary. I don't know.
I mean that I'm not
Maybe they
complaining.
could have changed it.
It was a good setup. It lasted way longer than I thought it did. And then the sequence of, he leaves to go to California and everything that happened up until we kind of introduced the Radiator Springs crew also seemed to kind of last forever.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I was yeah, I mean the movie's not perfect. I do have my like little gripes with certain things, but I don't know. I
yeah,
thought it was very solid
I
work.
guess I was just surprised at how long some of these went on for before, because like in my mind the movie jumped really quickly from race to oh no he's in this stupid place he doesn't want to be, oh now he has to work for them, oh okay he learned his lesson, leave, final race, end. But like there was um there's a lot more crammed in there.
Hmm.
um
Yeah, I don't know. This is gonna sound stupid because it's fucking Cars, but I don't know. I liked the little world. I liked all the characters. I liked their interactions. It was comfy. um,
I will say out of the ensemble casts of Toy Story and like all the Bugs from Bugs Life, and I don't know if Monsters really counts because it had like a lot of background characters, but most of them didn't really
yeah, they
do
weren't
anything.
really doing anything.
I'm not really feeling the Cars ones, and maybe it's just because I've only really seen the movie the one time now. But it's kind of like everybody had like their one bit, and it seemed like there were a ton of moments where
It was
it's
just the
just
bit
like
again.
there were a ton of moments where it's like, okay, it's a new day, everybody do your thing. Like everybody gets a scene to like, showcase their one little personality quirk. And then, okay, now we're moving on. Here's, Lightning's doing some stuff. Okay. Next day, everybody do your thing. I'm like, oh my god.
That's fair. Yeah,
Like the frickin' guy with
paint
the
job.
hydraulics and is that what you call it? But yeah, the paint job's like just every day he just kind of does the same thing, and you get the frickin' hippie bus and just...
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it was kind of to reinforce the idea of this being this, bumfuck town with where, it's the same all the time and
right.
it's not
Everybody's
like
got their
exciting.
routine.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I think maybe because it made that work for me, I didn't really have an issue with it. Though you do raise a good point, I guess, in terms of
There was
it's not.
the one part where I pointed out where it was like they literally did the bit with the military trumpet and then the Jimi Hendrix, and they did the exact same thing again later, and it's like, okay,
Well,
yeah, they're
the joke was that they
establishing,
did it again.
yeah, they're establishing that they're in a cycle here. So fair enough, I guess.
Yeah. I will also say, any movie that can move me even a little bit, immediately gets like a boost from me. Like that's yeah, I'm gonna remember that. Specifically again, it's very simple, but the moment at the end where Lightning just refuses to finish and then takes the king over the line, I'm like, yeah, that's
Yeah,
I
that's
I
the
I felt moved. You have that feeling in your chest. We're like, I don't know. I wasn't like brought to tears, but I was like,
right, but no, I mean,
that's
I get what
nice.
you mean though. I think I mentioned before we watched it that one of the only things I really remembered was the ending because it stands out.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a cool moment where it's. I mean, you could just say it's like oh look, he learned from the events of the movie and now he's changed, but it's like
Right.
yeah, I mean
You don't need to do anything flashy. Unfortunately, I think maybe that is the reason that this movie isn't, seen as one of the all stars of the classic Pixar era. Is that it's just solid. It doesn't have anything like super standout, like incredible about it. Um, that and the cars are kind of stupid, but yeah, I don't know.
I
Um,
I didn't remember that they just you know had several Cable Guy bits just in the movie.
I mean, it
He
makes sense. I'm not familiar with Larry the Cable Guy stuff, but if
I'm
you're gonna
not
have him in there and
really
have him
either,
call
but yeah,
himself
he
out
did
as
the
well.
that's I don't care who you are, that's funny right there. And he said get her done at one point. It's like, oh my god. But
um, my biggest issue with the movie was probably I don't really understand what Sally saw in him before he had his change. That was maybe something that was a little like that didn't like work for me. It didn't click. I'm like, why is she already kind of falling for him, like while he's still being a dick? Because then later he starts to soften up and kind of be nicer
was
to
she?
everybody. Yeah, yeah. At least from how I saw it, she was already kind of being a little shy and a little like what would you call it? Like not flirting with him, but kind of.
Maybe I don't remember the order of events that well because she offered him the hotel room when at that point he
He
was
was
still
still being a dick.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
Um,
and he was being kind of surprised by it. He's like, "Oh, I thought you hated me." And she's like, "Oh, well,
thought you hated that kind of stuff. It was bad. You
yeah,
missed
bro,
out.
you missed out." Yeah. One of these days, we're gonna have to do a bit where we just claim that we're gonna watch a movie and then we actually watch some knockoff movie instead and talk about
Well, I
that.
mean, Ratatouille's
Like,
right there.
yeah, that's true.
Meet
Oh fuck, I
Marcel
forgot about
Toying.
Ratatouille. I was actually just thinking, like, what is the next one anyway? Because in my mind, Wally and Up are both from 2009, even though I think Wally is actually '08. And I'm like, but it wasn't 2 years, right? Like, they did one in '07, and I couldn't remember what it was. Yeah, it's Ratatouille. That's yeah. um,
Yeah,
do
I
you
mean
have any
that's
other like issues with the movie?
not really. Well, again, if we're just talking about moments that seem to kind of drag for too long, I didn't know what to think of him like wrecking up the town. That it seemed like just antics that went on for a ridiculous amount of time because I didn't remember what happened, and so like we get to the part where it's like, okay, he's on the way to California. I don't remember what happens between now and then that he gets stuck having to work at the small town, and it's like, okay, Max falling asleep. Okay, he's what's going on? Is he just gonna get arrested for speeding,
Yeah, that's what
driving
I thought.
without headlights? Okay. Oh no. Okay, now he's running from the police, and now okay, now he like ran into some barbed wire and fucked up a statue, and it's like, what the hell? And like, there's just this scene where he's like,
I guess it's a little contrived.
he gets caught on like the fucking power line, and like instead of like trying to stop and get untangled, he's just like, I gotta keep going. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
yeah, he was kind of an idiot there.
That whole scene was really stupid.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I just kind of took it at face value. I'm like, whatever. They got to get the story going. He's a fucking arrogant douchebag. Like, he thinks he's above everybody. He's he's gonna try to flee, and then he's probably gonna panic, and it makes enough sense to me within cartoon logic that I didn't really question it. But
I did like how they siphoned his gas and then waited behind the sign exactly at the spot where he would run out of gas. Like, they figured out that shit perfectly.
Yeah,
like,
that was great. I mentioned to Josh during the movie a while later that I was confused by that part because when that happens, it's Meta gets rid of the boot on his wheel, and he says to Doc like, "Oh, I guess I should have, tethered him to the road paver first and then removed the boot." And Doc just kind of looks at him disapprovingly, and then he cut to Lightning out in the road, and he runs out of gas, and there's Sally and the police car. And until that point, until a while later, I didn't realize the police car and Doc Hudson were different characters. So I'm like, how did he get there so fast?
Yeah, before we watched the movie, I said that like I vaguely remembered a couple characters. I was getting Doc Hudson confused with, is his name just the King, the old race car? Like I was getting them confused. And also, I think the police car was mixed into that. They were all the same character in my mind.
After the beginning, but,
yeah.
Well, speaking of another thing that I noticed but didn't say anything about until later was early on when they're approaching Radiator Springs. There's a part where you can see there's a big mountain or like a hill or something, and it would have made more sense to put the road around it. But there's just this giant fuck-off hole cut directly through the mountain to make the road keep going straight. And I was going to make a joke and be like, oh, what is this? A metaphor for, like, modern society, fucking prioritizing the wrong things and, just being concerned about efficiency and not caring about, the... And then that actually was what the movie was going for, because then later on they have the view and they can see the big like wiggly dune sort of area that they've cut straight through really awkwardly as well. And then they make a point that they're like, yeah, they made a straight road and now no one comes here. And this whole thing of like everybody wants the fast life and they don't slow down and smell the roses and whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's actually where the movie was going, and it set it up pretty well. Like I noticed that and just didn't think enough about it, but it worked pretty well.
I mean, you noticed it and I didn't, so it was not massively in your face, but it did its job.
Yeah, it's more of a rewatch bonus, I guess. But
unrelated to anything else, but is this the first of the Pixar movies to just have a shit ton of pre-existing songs in it instead of a completely original score?
That stood out to me as well. I thought that was strange. It felt like at certain points that they wrote the scenes around just syncing up to some song, like the one with the Our Town, where it's like, we used to have this town and it was great, and we built up the town and everyone came to the town, and then they show everyone
Yeah.
building the town and coming to town, and they're like, and now nobody comes to the town anymore, and then it shows no one coming to the town, but it's still our town. I'm like, did they write this whole movie out of song lyrics? Like,
Maybe.
yeah.
So I'm trying to see if I'm like understanding the timeline here, or if you interpreted it the same way I did. Like, Sally said that she was from California or whatever, and then just happened to run out of gas here in Radiator Springs, and then just started living there. Was that 40 years ago, before the Better Highway was built? Because I didn't imagine she was that old.
No, because she said like, I would have liked to see this place in its heyday. So when she's giving the backstory of like 40 years ago they built the road and no one comes here, that's presumably what she's been told by the other cars. And
Okay.
like,
Yeah, because, you can't fucking tell with a car, but I was like, I don't think she's over 40.
well, that's the thing, is
but-
because they do have a flashback to like, here's them building the town, and everyone looks the fucking same. You have the one car that's like an old lady, like widow, but
Yeah,
everybody else is just of indeterminate adult age, and
I mean, that makes
That makes
sense.
me
It's,
feel
I
bad.
guess, like, the whole thing is you just kind of have to know. Like, you can kind of tell a car is old from looking at it, because, like, designs shift over time. But, and it's like, as they get much older, I guess they start, rusting and falling apart. But it does make me want, here's the point in the video that happens anytime anybody talks about cars, where we overanalyze the fuck out of the world. I'm not going to question the functioning society or how they build things, because there's no answer to that.
Or the fact that it's on Earth but with fake car towns, except they also then have LA and
and then they have B. Larry King in this form of J. Limo. But I'm also a fan of the Pope Mobile inside a Pope Mobile in the second movie. But what was I gonna say? So, if we're going to just accept, like, okay, yes, they somehow can construct all these things and they can function without hands and, like, okay, whatever, sure. Did they not start existing until when cars were first built in the real world?
I don't think you're supposed to think about it. If I had to make a guess, I would say that the car god just made them one day.
Yeah, because it's like you can't even say that, like, this is, some sort of weird, like, distant future, because it's like, they're specifically saying, like, oh, Doc he won the Piston Cup in 1953. Like,
yeah, the movie seems to take place in 2006 when it came out, because they say, like, we haven't seen this guy for over 50 years, and this crash was 54, so I don't know, man.
Right. And so let's say, aside from the cars, which are humans, we have Volkswagen Beetles, which are just all types of bugs. I think we only saw flies, but presumably other stuff.
There was the
shot of the birds.
Yeah.
I think that was just an Easter egg for one of their shorts. I don't know if that's, like, canon, but
right.
So yeah, we've got them. What do you mean, There's tractors instead of cows. And I think that's all we saw. There's also planes, but they're just people, but they can fly, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's another weird thing. Is midway through the movie, I suddenly remembered, like, oh shit, they made a spin-off for planes. I forgot about that. Like, literally just was not in my brain at all.
I have not seen planes, and I don't think I plan to. I doubt it's very good.
I mean, we're gonna do the Disney movies at some point, right? So we gotta do planes.
I guess it's not like it's not like a main Disney movie, though. Like, I don't think it's part of the Disney animated canon.
Huh.
But then again, I don't think like Goof Troop is either, and I think he wanted to do that. So
Did I? I don't remember saying that.
you mentioned it earlier today because it was 30. It turned 30.
Well, somebody posted on my server that the Goofy movie turns 30 today.
Oh, that's what I meant. I said Goof Troop, but yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen that
like,
one. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing it. But
I haven't seen it either. I joked about seeing it. I mean, yeah, maybe.
Shit, what the fuck was I saying? Oh no. I had a point. I don't know what it was. How did we get here?
Why do the cars have tongues?
That's also a good question. But oh, right, planes. I like how so we have, Cars 1, 2, and 3. We have planes, and then we have like Planes Fire and Rescue Team.
Yeah. I think it was just Planes 2 Fire and Rescue.
I don't even think there's a 2 in the title. I'm gonna check. Really? It is. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, really? Just Planes Fire and Rescue? Let me see.
Produced by Disney Toon Studios.
Yeah. I remember... Hang on, also known as Planes 2 Fire and Rescue. Maybe it's by region. Maybe it was Planes 2 in the UK.
I remember, that was around the time that, obviously there was Cars 2, which flopped. People really hated Brave. I don't remember what their next one was, but, they kind of had their low points, and I remember people being like, oh, they're doing these fucking Planes movies. Pixar's totally lost it. And it's like, I get why you think that. This isn't them. Don't blame this on them.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm looking at the catalog of Disney Toon Studio stuff, and most of this is fucking nothing.
Is it the direct to VHS sequels?
Yeah, they do like 80% of their stuff is direct to video sequels for stuff, and some of it is theatrical releases. Okay.
Well, we gotta do fucking Fox and the Hound 2, where they, make a band.
Maybe when we run out of real movies to do.
No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, more generally, I think the I made a point earlier and I forgot to kind of fill this out. Like I said that I didn't understand why Sally started falling for him. I also don't understand like why the movie needed a romance in the first place. It was kind of out of place and unnecessary.
Yeah, it was also
just he made friends with everyone there.
It's a little weird that she's also like the only female car. Like there's also the old lady, but
it's Flo.
I know. Oh god, I just forgot about the fucking girls flashing him at the beginning. And this was like shortly after you were like, is there going to be a joke where like, there's some hot girl car and then like, all their doors suddenly open?
Yeah, I was expecting it, and then I almost got that with the flashing.
Were you specifically thinking of the scene with Buzz's wings coming out, or is
Yeah, probably subconsciously, yes. Okay. And
oh god, speaking of Buzz, I had never seen the fucking the credits thing with
with
Cars,
the
Toy Story, and Bug's Life and shit with the
Max watching the movie and praising his own voice actor.
Yeah, so there's two parts to this, because first of all, there's just the movie parodies, which I very much appreciated those. It was very stupid,
yeah, they went
and
out of their way
therefore
to
good.
make the fucking car versions of them, which that almost felt like self-aware, like they know how stupid the Cars thing is, and they're just like, yeah, what if we had just like Cars versions of everything?
And I couldn't tell if it was all the original voices. Some of them sounded a little off. But yeah, so I saw that and I'm just like, oh shit, I didn't know they did this. That's awesome. And then we have Mac talking about the voice for Ham. It's like, okay, I see what they did there. Then they did it a second time. It's like, oh. And then they did it a third time. It's like, okay, you won me back. You're committing to the bit.
Yeah, that was. I think I said fuck off when it happened the first time, and then I said fuck off even louder the second time, and then I laughed the third time.
Yeah.
I think my favorite bit in the movie, because I want to make this a thing of trying to remember what the favorite thing is. The problem is there weren't many like huge laugh out loud moments beyond just like general comedic timing type stuff. I
You
remember the
seem
thing
to
that I
laugh a
found
lot
funny
at
is,
Mater.
I'm embarrassed by that, but yeah,
Sorry.
not really the stuff he said, nor definitely not the toilet humor stuff with the cows or anything. It was just stuff like when McQueen was having a conversation with Sally, and there's like having a little moment, and the camera just pans over, and Meta's just standing there. Like that killed me. I don't know why. It's basic stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I was just in a good mood for it.
I don't know if I have much else to say on this one. It was I would basically say like, yeah, it was fine. It's not the greatest movie ever, but it's fun. Like,
yeah. All right, but now we got to count down our top 5 favorite characters.
well, obviously the hippie bus. No, like
we got to give a mention to the Canadian cause.
were there Canadian cars? I don't remember that.
Yeah, there was like the couple that would the husband wouldn't ask for directions or whatever.
Oh, I figured that was like Minnesota, but yeah, close enough.
I guess it could be Minnesota. Guido is great. I like that he had his little moment where he felt like the main character temporarily.
Yeah, that was like one of the main things I remembered was the ridiculously fast pit crew thing. For some reason, that moment always stood out to me. I'm starting to think more and more that I only saw the final race of this movie.
Maybe.
No, I've seen more of it. It's just, it wasn't ever, like, it was just random bits and pieces.
The Hispanic paint job guy was great.
Oh, you mean DJ Spit?
Yeah.
Get out of me head, man.
Yeah, man. I did like the gag of him. It was very much not at the forefront. It was in the background of him just changing his paint job every day because he's bored. Like that was awesome. I like that.
Also, shout outs to me making a reference to this character, like, comparing him to this fucking minor Smiling Friends character when it's just Cheech Marin. But I don't really know anything about Cheech and Chong or anything else he's in. So, here's me just making the stupid reference instead of like actually recognizing anything that he's known for. But
the only thing I really know about Cheech and Chong is the Gex line where he talks about can Cheech and or Chong come to the front desk or whatever. And then number 2 we've got the sneezing car.
Oh yes, that one's important.
Yeah, it was so good.
Then there's Frank, the like wheat harvester.
I made a comment about like I can see the video game level for this where you have to go around and tip 5 tractors, and then there's a cutscene. It's like now you gotta flee from Frank.
I don't know why it's a WarioWare game.
And of course, the number 1 best character, Chick Hicks, Kajiga! No.
I mean, Chick Hicks is probably the best part of the movie.
Really?
No, not really.
I thought he was pretty obnoxious.
I mean, that's the thing. He is obnoxious. That's the point.
He's perfect for his role in the movie. I'm out of stuff to say.
Do you know anything about the third movie? Because you definitely know things about the second one, but
do I know the second movie is a spy flick starring Meta for some reason. I don't know anything beyond that.
I mean, that's basically what you need to know.
I know that it's considered not very good, but you think it's like underrated, and there's that one guy in your comments that left a big rant comment talking about how the movie is actually super underrated and is actually like one of the best animated movies ever, and I turned it into a copy pasta.
For the record, I don't know if I'd use the word underrated. The movie is bad, but it's bad in a fun way.
It's fun, okay, I see.
Like, because
I'm honestly looking forward to it.
Because here's the thing: is like I've defended it in the past as just being like, a stupid popcorn flick where it's like, just don't take it seriously at all, but it's fun. That's true, but it's also kind of shit. Like, if you try to look at it in a, like, if it was just, like, hijinks the whole time, then like sure, but it does try to have a plot, and the plot makes no sense, and
Fair.
the character development is kind of garbage. So it's
I see. Okay. It's no Cars 1, I guess is
Yes.
what you're trying to say.
I still again, I've only seen it the one time. I still think 3 is the best one. But
I didn't realize you had seen 3 for some reason. I thought you had. Oh no, I guess you have seen.
I've seen all of them up
Most
to
ones are
Onward
fun.
in the theater.
Yeah. Okay.
Which,
The only thing I know, I think I remember the third one. I know that the poster looked fucking creepy, and everyone said it looked like a horror movie. And then when the actual movie came out, I think I remember it hearing that it was about like how Lightning McQueen is basically washed up and needs to accept that, and that's it.
more or less.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just basically a look at like, when you've kind of passed your prime and, that was your whole life, what do you do now that you kind of have to like find something else? And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense as a thing to go to for a franchise themed around what is essentially it's a sports movie.
right.
Well, no, not really. It's like it's like sports movie in theming, but it's more of just a character thing about an arrogant jackass. Like,
yeah. If it was a sports movie, then, he would have just won the race and that would have been it. Cause...
Well, okay, I'm saying that. I haven't actually really seen any sports movies, so maybe a lot of them aren't like this about character stuff, but I don't know.
Well, let me compare the movie to Space Jam. Okay.
No. There's something else I wanted to say now.
Garage sale. Should McQueen sticking out his tongue have counted?
Yeah. It's a part of his body.
What do you know about Turbo?
That one's DreamWorks, right?
Yeah. I know Shea Frillis freaking hated that one. I watched that one with Martin and thought it was actually kind of fun. I don't know.
I shall look forward to it when we get around to DreamWorks stuff then.
But yeah, I think we might have exhausted everything we have out of this one. So yeah. I guess Ratatouille is next, and yeah, pull up the Belegdas. When in doubt, use the word Belegda. It's better than diarrhea.
Oh, okay. Honestly, there's not that many comments here in general. That especially like, and most of them I don't have much to say about. I guess the one comment I think might prompt some interesting discussion potentially is somebody said that this movie always seemed like a bit more adult oriented. Sorry, not this movie, as in Incredibles, because that's what the comment is on. Yeah. That Incredibles always seemed a bit more like adult oriented than the others, which I think I can kind of see, having now seen Cars, which this one feels much more like a... Well, I don't know. Pixar always kind of rides the line.
Incredibles has, like, family drama from the perspective of the adult, where it's like, Mr. Incredible legitimately thinks that he lost his wife and kids, and there's the whole concern about... whether like Helen thinks he's cheating and all that stuff. And there's like there was adult stuff going on in that movie, even just beyond and just the violence.
Higher stakes, more violence. Did that movie have blood? I mean, I know it had the fucking skeleton, but
I don't think if it did, it was very minor.
Okay.
Finding Nemo had blood.
That's true. Yeah. And this comment also this comment also mentions that apparently, because we asked about like, is John Ratzenberger in every single Pixar movie? Did he stop at a certain point? What's this guy's deal? Apparently Onward was his last performance, though there is a character in the background of Soul that has his likeness, apparently.
I see. Not to waste a tremendous amount of time here, but I'm trying to think what Pixar movies have come out since Onward, because there's Soul, there was Luca, I think is what it was called. Inside Out 2, Lightyear...
Toy Story 4. But that was before Onward.
Oh, yeah, because I've seen Toy Story 4. I'm sure there's other ones. I don't remember.
Elemental was Pixar, right?
Oh yeah.
That was the one that everyone's like, "Oh, Pixar are cooked."
Oh my god.
It's so over.
I'm interested in Soul. Kind of interested in Elemental. I liked Inside Out 1, so I'll probably like the second one. I don't know anything about Luca. I don't remember if there's any other ones.
Like I've said, I've seen this stretch from Incredibles up, or from Finding Nemo up to Up. So after that, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah. God, I just remembered they're making a Coco too.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Everything's gonna get a sequel.
And I mean, you haven't seen Coco, but it's it was it was really good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going through that one with you. It does not need a fucking sequel. I don't know what they would do with it. Like, the movie ended perfectly.
Well, they gotta do something because the people already like the thing. It's too much of a risk to make a new thing because people might not like it.
I mean, that's true with me with games, but
I think the general public are more receptive to. That's the thing, is it's not that people aren't receptive. It's literally just they don't want to risk any potential alienated people. The sequels to stuff, they know the audience is there. Like it's as simple as that. Which is kind of depressing, but
yeah.
Oh well.
But yeah, I think we've dragged it out long enough. Unless you had anything else, I believe we are done here.
Kachiga!
Pretty much.
Well, let us know in the comments. Are you Team Kachow or Team Kachiga? This isn't McQueen versus Chick Hicks. This is just, do you like Kachow or Kachiga?
I like Kachiga way better because it's really stupid sounding.
I guess I would agree with that.
And I was making like stupid variants of it earlier. I was like Kabimba,
but, Kachunda.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Dead to Rights.
Dead to Rights.